Hello and welcome to Heart for Home. My name is Deanna. If this is your first time here, you are very welcome. Here on this channel, I love to share positive and uplifting messages that can help others in their spiritual and personal journey. I also want to take a moment to say hello to all my new subscribers. It always brings me so much joy when people find this channel and decide to stay. It's awesome. Today, I wanted to share a little bit about making bold decisions. And I know that probably at some point, most of us will find ourselves in a position where we have to make a decision that is a big decision and that will likely alter in our direction this way or that, and those decisions are not always easy. And I kind of want to focus particularly on those bold decisions, those decisions we make where we don't really know what's on the other side. There's a little bit of that element of the unknown. There's a little bit of fear about what if I make a mistake? What if this is a wrong decision? What if I end up regretting this decision that I make? So I've definitely had a couple of those moments in my own life. And I hope that whatever I can share with you today will encourage you if you find yourself in that position right now, or maybe at some point in your life. If you feel strongly in your heart to go in a certain direction, or you feel like God is leading you in a certain direction to start something new or to do something, and it's not always easy to make that decision, of course. And what can make it hard, again, like I said, is just that fear of the unknown or making a mistake. Or sometimes we make decisions that others don't, they don't understand it, or they're disappointed with our decision. It doesn't necessarily make it wrong, right? And I believe that it's really important to learn to trust your inner guidance, to trust God's guidance in your life and His voice in your heart. And but the only way that we can kind of learn to trust our inner guidance is if we actually make that decision and if we go for it. Because if you never go for it, then you'll never know, right? You'll never know if that was really God guiding you in that direction. You'll never know. You just can't know, right? Unless you do it. And each time you listen and trust your intuition and you trust God's guiding for you, you build that confidence in your inner guidance. You build that confidence to know that, hey, when I feel this, when I sense this in my spirit, and I need to go for it, because I've done it enough times to know that, yes, this is that right voice, because I think it's really important to connect with the inner voice within us, to connect with our intuition. And I think that can get lost, in life and in the world. There's so many voices that speak to you, whether, the voices of others, like all over, right? Especially now, today, given our information age and all that, there's so many voices. And I think it can be really easy to lose touch with your inner guidance, with your inner voice, with that voice of God guiding us in our lives. And it takes practice. It takes, okay, I'm gonna take a step of faith, and I believe that this inner voice is guiding me in a certain way, and that I can trust it, I can go for it. When I look back at the decisions that I've had to make, and some of them I've made like 10 years ago and things like that, I do not have one single regret about any of the decisions that I've made, any of the bold moves that I've made for my life. And just, they've definitely changed the direction of my life, but in a better way. And in the midst of, in those times, like in that moment, like for example, one of those decisions, leaving the job that I was currently at to go in a different direction, it's not always a smooth transition, and there might be even moments where you doubt, like, oh, maybe I should not have done this, like, yikes. But with time, things fall into place. And with time, you see, like, you know what, I'm really glad I went for that. Like, I do not regret that at all. And it led me in the direction that I'm supposed to go. So I say that to say that sometimes you make a decision and you may not see like the result right away, and you might feel like, oh, maybe this was not a good idea after all, It's easy to doubt ourselves, but give it some time. Let things fall into place. Give yourself time to figure things out. Give yourself time to, for things to settle, because sometimes when you make a bold decision, because it's maybe something, it can cause a lot of, it might cause a lot of disruption. It's like there's still waters, and if someone throws couple of rocks in that water, it causes disruption around, and that disruption might come in the form of people freaking out about your decision, maybe not understanding your decision. It might come in the form of, now you have to figure out finances in a different way, or a little bit of a challenge here and there. But that disruption is not bad. It doesn't mean that the decision you've made is bad. It just means that things need to settle again, and eventually when you throw a bunch of rocks on the river, or on a still pond, let's just say that, eventually it settles again, right? But you have to give it a little bit of time to settle. Don't just say, oh no, what have I done? I just want you to know that, and I think this is very beautiful, that when God calls us, when he puts something in our hearts and he pulls us in a certain direction, he does not abandon us in that. He meets us there, and he's with us along he comes along with us for every step, and you will find his grace there. You will find his love there. You will find his strength there, and you will find whatever it is that you need. God will provide it for you. God does not call us to do something, go in a certain direction, and just leave us hanging. He's there through it all, and whatever challenges may come because of the decision you've made, or because you've trusted and you went for it, you trusted God, you took that step of faith. God is there. You're not going to be alone, and you're going to come out of it strong and more confident, with greater faith and trust in God's leading in your life. And I find for me that the greatest thing that has come out of all the decisions I've had to make that were, for me at that time, maybe a little scary, a lot of unknowns, but I trusted my intuition and I went for it, is that I've come to see that when God calls, he provides. He's there for you. And I have also built confidence in my inner voice. And now if I feel led to do something in a certain direction, I don't question it. I don't really question it anymore. I just go for it, but I wasn't like that 10 years ago. It's something that was built with every bold decision that I decided to say yes to, and I think that's something that is extremely valuable. It gives you a lot of confidence in the way that you approach life, when you can trust God's guidance in your life, and you can also trust that wherever he guides you, he's going to be there for you. And just know that on the other side of what is unknown, God is there. Excuse me, God is there, and he's there for you. And that's one thing that we can always be confident about, is that God is there for us and that God will never abandon us. So thank you for taking the time to hear me out, and I hope it encourages you, and I hope you have a good day ahead, and may God bless you, and may God bless your home.